Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. For this painting, I wanted to make a longer form video so I could take my time to talk through my thought process throughout this whole painting and areas that I felt like I had some trouble in. So this is a statue of a Xolo dog that I got while I was in Mexico, and it's important to note that the reflections in this picture aren't going to line up with the painting because I took this reference picture way after I did the actual painting. But it gets the general idea across that light is hitting the statue at certain areas, so there's just areas of highlight. So you'll see that I had to redo the outline a few times. I kept making certain areas a little bit too wide, and just overall, every time I would get the outline done, I'd look at it and it just didn't look like the actual statue, so you'll see that I had to redo it a few times. And I chose to do a 3/4 perspective for this painting instead of a heads-on perspective. I just thought it would look cooler than a heads-on perspective, but it was a little tricky because the only time that I've ever really practiced a 3/4 perspective was when I was working on the Loomis method for drawing faces, and that was just human faces, not dog faces, and it didn't involve any painting, it was just purely drawing. Here is where I started to box out the areas that were going to be highlighted. What was really cool about this painting was outside of the collar and the ears, the only real color that I was working with was black, and so it was basically getting different shades of black to match the actual statue. So those areas that I boxed, you can really barely see it because it was really light pencil, but those are going to be the lightest areas. But you'll also notice, for instance, like between the head and the actual neck of the dog, there's a subtle difference in how dark the black actually is, which was pretty tricky, but also was pretty fun. So this is where I added the first layer of black, and it came out a lot lighter than I wanted it to be. So I ended up having to do several layers of black on top of this one. And right here, if you look at that left paw, I tried to take a dry paintbrush after applying another layer of black and remove some of the fresh black paint to make a little bit of a highlight to show the claws on the paw, but it wasn't getting the effect that I wanted to. I wasn't able to get enough of that black paint off to really make it stand out. Overall, I'm not too upset about how these highlights look. I think it is kind of cool where the nose is, that it's a little bit brighter than the rest of the face. It kind of shows that the light's hitting that area, but then the areas around the nose is darker. And here's where I start to add some of the only other colors in this painting, which is on the necklace itself. And here I was trying to do something with the ears. If you look back at the reference photo, it had like this almost crystal-like effect that I just had no idea how to even try to attempt with paint. So I just made it a little bit gray and just left it as is. Overall, I'm not too upset. I think it looks kind of cool, especially in the face where the highlight is for the nose and the forehead. And there you have it. This was the completed painting. If anyone has any tips on some of the areas that I had a hard time with during this video, please feel free to leave a comment. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. Thanks.